Hello and welcome to the new code. Okay, this is my first video on the channel, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the terminal. Basically, you guys know the simple things that you will need to know if you use the terminal day to day. You don't need to sit down for those 1 hour long courses to learn something like in 1 hour and then you forget it in like a week because you don't use it. So in this video I'm just going to show you like about 9 or 10 of the most used commands that you use in the terminal. So without further ado, let's start and let's get it. Okay, so the first one will be, so if you're somewhere you don't know where you are, just do pwd and hit enter. So pwd means present working print working directory. So as you can see here, it will print the directory I am currently on. Directory is just a technical name for folder. So yeah, it will print the present directory that you are in. So with that, you know where you are. So now let's see if you want to navigate to different places. So maybe you want to go to a different folder. How do you move? How do you do that? There's another command called change directory, which is cd. So if you do it cd followed by folder name or directory name, then it will take you to that directory if the directory exists. If it doesn't, it will give you like an error or something like that. But with the change directory, you have about 3 options, and those options is if you want to move backward, you do change directory 2 steps, 2 dots, and then it will take you backward. If you want to move back to the directory you were in previously before you came to this one, you do change directory dash and hit enter, and it will take you there. And if you want to just go back home, you don't want to do anything, you just want to go back to your home directory, like here, you guys do change directory and hit enter, and then it will take you there. So let's create 2 folders to put that into test. So to create the 2 folders, you have to learn this command too. So there's a new command called make directory, but it is spelled mkdir. So if you do make directory and then you put the directory name, so let's name this folder test1, and then we'll make another directory called test2. Okay, so now we have 2 folders that we created, and we want to move between those folders using the change directory command. You want to change directories. So now we are in the home directory. If you want to go to test1, you do cd test1. And now we are in test1. So to confirm that you are already in test1, you can do print working directory pwd, that command that we just learned the first time. And then hit enter, and then you can see now this is the path, and we have test1 here. We are now in that folder, that directory. And if you want to get out of it or go backward, you can just do change directory ... So that means, hey, take me 1 step backward to the last folder I was on. So hit enter, and if you do present print working directory, it's going to bring you back to your home directory. That was where you were previously before you went to test1. So that is one of the uses of change directory. Another one is, say we are in the home directory now, but we want to just go back to test1. You remember we were in test1 here, and then we cd'd backward and came to our home folder. Now we want to go back to test1, but we don't want to do change directory test1 and go there. So you can just do change directory and then do dash or the minus sign and then hit enter, and it's going to take you back there. So now if you do present working print working directory, it's going to take you to, it's going to tell you you are in test1. Alright, so that's the 2. So now so far let's just recap. So far you've learned present working directory to print the directory you are in, and you've learned how to change a directory to move backward or forward. Actually, yeah, to move backward or forward. And so, but if you want to just go home, you do like this and hit enter. And you've also learned how to create a new folder, which is make directory mkdir, and then followed by the folder name or the directory name. So far 3 important things that you've learned. So let's go ahead. So now that you know how to create a folder, Well, if you get into the folder, possibly you want to create a file, right? And so if you get into a folder, so let's see where we are. Print working directory, home folder. So we want to change to test1, cd test1, and we are now in test1. So if you want to know what files are in test1, what files are in the folder test1, the command that you use is list, and that's a very important and basic one that you use. So if there were any folders in test1, when I did list, then you see that those files, if there were any files, you see that those files would be listed below. So now let's create a file inside test1, so we can use that one to test our list, and then practice using the list command. So it's list, but instead of like doing list, like those guys in those who made the terminal decided that ls will be just a simple one than to use list. So let's create the file. So how do you create a file? You just do touch touch followed by the file name. So if we want to say file1.txt, so you just say touch file1.txt and hit enter, and you are in there and you've created a file. So if you want to see whether, hey, your file, did you really create it, you can just do list ls, and then you can see the file is there. Now what next? Well, you have the file, you want to work on it. You can possibly just, another new command that you're going to learn if you want to work on the file is that you can just do, it depends. If you have an app that you're going to open the file and use on, that would be a different issue. But if you just want to type something in, like some text into the file, the simple thing you do is just type the word open and then type the file name. So you see that I actually didn't type the full file name. If you just type the file name, the beginning, and then hit tab, then the command line will complete it from you, the terminal will complete it from you, and now you hit enter. Voila, and we have some space here to do some typing. So we can just type this, I'm gonna say hello world of computers. Alright, now you can just save this and we can quit it and come back to our terminal. We still have that file in, and now if you want to see what is inside the file that you just created, how do you do that? A new command that we are going to learn again, and that command is cat, just like your pet cat. So if you do cat followed by the file name and then hit enter, voila, and you could see the text that I typed in, hello world of computers, we have it printed out here. This % sign is just this one that has always been following. Alright, so far we've learned print working directory, and we've learned to list the files in a folder, and we've learned to make a new directory, and we've learned to change directory, go backwards or go to the previous one or go to the next one if there is any. So what next? Something you might want to know too that you use every day is how to copy files or how to move files from one place to another, or maybe you even want to just delete them instead of moving them. But let's take them one by one. If you want to delete the file, so let's go back to our test1 directory, change directory test1. Now we have a file here. Maybe let's create another one to mess with it. So let's just do touch file2.txt and hit enter. We've created it, and now on your list we have two files, file1 and file2. So we want to delete file2. Simple and short. You guys have to do rm, that's the command. The command is remove rm followed by the file name. So file2, tab, and then autocomplete, and you hit enter. So if you list, file is gone. So file2 is no more there, it's only file1 now. So the same way that you can remove a file, you can remove a folder if you want to delete a folder. But that one you will need a little thing to add. So let's just create maybe another folder inside here to make that test. So we'll make directory, and then we'll say inner folder, inner f dot inner f. So if it is a directory or a folder, you don't need to do dot something. So inner f, and then we hit enter. We have a new directory that is created inside our test1 directory, but you want to delete inner f. You don't want that inner directory. So let's do rm inner f. Nope, it's a directory, so we can't get deleted with remove. You have to tell the computer to remove it recursively, remove that directory with all the files that are inside it. So you have to do rm-r inner f, and then hit enter, and then voila, we're gone. So now I'm gonna clear this one. So when we list, we will see that it's only file. We don't have the inner directory no more. And again, the command is rm-f followed by folder or directory name, and you will be able to remove the folder. What next? Okay, you know how to check where you are, change directory, and list and see the files or folders in each folder or wherever you are, and you know how to see whatever is in the file by using the cat command followed by the file name. And now what else? Maybe you might want to learn how to copy a file from one folder to another. So let's try that. So now let's go to test1. Do we have a file there? Yeah, we have a file called file1.txt. Now we want to copy file1.txt into, we have another directory. You remember in the beginning we created another folder called, so you will see that I use folder and directory interchangeably. They are the same thing. So we will have we want to copy file1 into the folder or the directory called test2. So what we're going to do is do cp. Cp is for copy, and then we'll mention the file name, file1.txt, and we'll name the, so now, so you can see that we are actually going backwards. So for the first time, let's do it the simple way. So let's go back home, and then now we have like our folders here, test1, you can see it here, and test2 here. So we have them here so that we don't have to like looking things from the inside out. Let's go from the outside in for now. So we have a file called file1 inside a folder called test1, and we want to copy file1 into the folder called test2. So what you do is cp test1/file and hit enter, and then it will autocomplete, or just type the complete file name, and you just type the next folder that you want to copy to, which is file2 in this case. And now if you hit enter, voila. So now if you change directory and go to test2, hit enter, list, you will see file1 is there. So if you change directory and go home, change directory and go to test1 list, you see file 1 is still there too. So you've copied it from file1 to file2, but it's still there. But look at this. How about if you just want to move it? You don't want to copy it, you want to move it from one directory to another. You don't want the copy, you want the whole thing. So let's create another file in test1 to in the test1 folder to make that test. So let's do touch. So I'm trying to use the keywords we learned repeatedly as much as possible, so it'll get synced into your head. Okay, so touch, you remember touch is for creating a new file. So touch, we want to create a file, maybe called file2.txt, and we hit enter. And when you list, you see that we have two files now. But now we don't want file2 here. We don't want it in test1. We want file2. We want to move file2 inside our test1 folder. You remember this is our test1. We can go back home and then list it, and you see. Yeah, so you remember this is our test1 right here, and we have a file called file2 inside test2, but we want to move it into test1. So the simple thing we'll do, so you type mv. So that's the command for moving a file. So mv, and you type the folder name, and you do slash, and then you type the file name. So in this case, file2.txt. Wait, let's make sure it's there. File2 File 1. Wait, oh, we have it in file 2, do we? Let me check and see where file 2 is. It's in directory to test 1. File 2 is in test 1. Okay, and now we want to copy it to test 2. All right, so let's go back home. Now we do cp test1 / file 2.txt, and then we will now give the name of the next folder that we want to move it to. In this case, we want to move it to test2. So test2, and then if there was another folder in test2, you could do / that folder name and whatever in the path, but now we just have only test2. So you guys do test2. Other people prefer to do the /, you don't have to do it. So just hit enter, and now, believe it or not, we have file 2 inside the folder test2 now. So let's go back to test1. All right, and then we'll list. Okay, I think there's a problem happened here. All right, let me check real quick. Go to test2. Okay, then I might have mistaken. Move and copy are probably doing the same job. I'm not sure what the mistake is that I'm making, but in most cases people will use move instead of copy. But it depends, like it depends on the work. But in my case, I use move a lot. But yeah, so it now looks like move and the cp command, they basically work the same. They are very similar, but move usually moves it like completely. So that's it for this video, and I will leave a PDF, or I will just write like all the commands in the description if you didn't get all of them here. So that's it, and if you did like the video, please hit the thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel because it's my first video. All right, thank you so much, and see you next time.